All right. You made it through parts one and two. Good thing. You're going to want that kind of persistence for this hobby. Today, we go hands on. Okay, if you want to go metal detecting, first thing you got to do is get your stuff together. Wrong way. Alrighty, when I say get your stuff together, well, let's see what stuff means. Stuff. Well, you need digging tools. You need something to put your treasure in. Probably want a pinpointer. And obviously, you're going to need a metal detector. Here we have Pioneer 505 and the Harbor Freight 9-function metal detector. Let's see, which one do we start with? Let's start with the Harbor Freight. That there. Probably one of the most inexpensive units you can get. I love it. The thing has been wonderful. Battery life on it is awesome. Recovery speeds are great, making it a lot easier to pick between one target and another when they're in real close proximity. It's lightweight. You can swing it all day long. The depth is fantastic. And it's just, if you want to get going, I can't think of anything wrong to say about it, other than the fact that it's probably a little chintzy. It's not the most well-built device in the world, but then again, I've had this one for like probably going on 6 years, and I still love it. This one here, the Pioneer 505, considerably more expensive, probably considered a mid-range detector to upper level beginners, and it's like 5 times the money, 6 times the money, but there you go. With metal detecting, like I said, you can spend a lot or you can spend a little. With metal detectors, first 2 questions you're gonna hear is, can it find gold, and how deep will it get? Well, there's answers to that too. First, will it find gold? Yes. Virtually any metal detector will find gold. Some are better at it than others. If I was going to go looking for placer gold, gold nuggets and the like, I would definitely jump on this cheap one. And there's just a lot of reasons for that. The other one, not so much. Mostly the recovery speed is just horrible. That one will force you to slow down. There's just no way around it. The other question, how deep will it get? Well, the majority of that can be answered by how big the coil is. From here to here, if you got 8 inches, that is the average depth of what you're going to get. Of course, there's variables. The size of the object you're looking at, your target has a lot to do with how deep it'll go. I mean, you're going to pick up a silver dollar a whole lot deeper than you're going to pick up a dime. So that's just the way it is. Also, another thing that'll really affect you is moisture levels in the soil and basically the mineralization of the soil. So, with any machine, basically you're going to have to learn your machine. And some machines, that comes a little quicker than others. But for any machine out there on the market. If you look on YouTube, there will be a ton of videos telling you how you can operate and the best way, just everything about every individual machine. There's a million guys out there making videos on them, so go ahead and check some out. I probably won't do that. Something cool to put your treasure in. I picked this up off the clearance shelf down there at the hardware store. I love it. Great big pockets. Right here I can put the big stuff. Like, oh, yeah, I found that. In this middle one I tend to put my tools. In the little one I put my little treasures. I wonder if there's anything in there. Hopefully there's something in there. What do I got? Well, not a whole lot. But anyways, yeah. A nice bag. Pinpointer. I kind of pointed this out in video number 1. This is another one of those Harbor Freight inexpensive deals. You'll see reviews for this online. Everybody talks about this switch, how horrible it is, how, I used it and that switch gave out on me. Well, I've had this one for like 6 years, or 5 years, I don't even know. Fact is, yeah, that button does act up on you, but a little hint, you give that thing a little shot of WD-40 every 6 months, and it'll last. And boy, it's got some good depth to it for a pinpointer, so can't argue that. Digging tools. I need to turn out on the light. I'm casting a shadow. Digging tools. My favorite thing in the world is right here. This little Fiskars gardening tool. I love this thing. Cuts great plugs in the grass. It's sharp enough that with this serrated edge, it'll take on roots. It's made out of pretty quality steel, so you can sharpen it up when you need to. Best investment I ever made. This is just a crappy shovel I very seldom use, but if I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, I will use it. Long-handled shovels. Well, they make some specially for metal detecting, but a long-handled small shovel, if you're not in a park or wherever, yeah, if you want to invest in one, go ahead. A lot of people use them when they're like out in the woods or in farmers' fields and whatever. I have no problem with them, but if you're walking around the park with a shovel or schoolyard with a shovel, somebody's quite liable to say something, so it's something to keep in mind. Guys who do a lot of stuff in the water, they have these little sifters on a pole where you scoop up the stuff and you can sift out the gravel or sand or whatever. And, well, if I did a lot of water hunting, I would definitely invest in one of those. Other than that, I don't know. Gloves. A lot of people won't do it without gloves. If you're like me, you just kind of hate wearing them. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable wearing gloves. No matter what I'm doing, I don't care if I'm doing the hardest work in the world, I won't wear a pair of gloves. But yeah, if you want, there's sharp things in the ground. There's broken glass, there's rusty old cans and everything, but I'm a sucker for punishment, so I generally don't wear them. But you know what I do? Carry around a couple of Band-Aids. Simply because of the fact that, well, I don't generally wear gloves. So, yeah, I do carry them. Perhaps I should just start wearing gloves. And let's see, anything else? Oh, yeah, a little brush. I like having a little brush. I just dropped it on the ground. Darn. Anyways, yeah, I like having a little brush. Yeah, you can brush off, like, dig up a nice silver coin. Yeah, well, if it's quite valuable, you don't want to be scratching it up, rubbing your fingers on it, and grinding the sand into it, and ruining the value of it. But, anyways, yeah, that little brush will just knock everything off. It's a whole lot nicer. And let's see, what else would you want to bring? Water. Always bring water. I mean, there's no sense in getting dehydrated and falling out in the middle of nowhere and, you know, having a heat stroke. So make sure you got water. And is there anything else? Extra batteries. Don't forget your extra batteries. There is nothing worse than getting out in the middle of nowhere and having one of these guys die on you. This one, the batteries last forever, but you know what? When they die, you'll know it. And if you're off in the middle of nowhere and you got to ride 10 miles to a freaking store to go get yourself more batteries, you will wish you brought some. So always have some on hand. It's just a great idea. And that about covers what? I don't know. I generally take along, or at least have in the vehicle when I go. So, next, I got a good idea. Let's go actually metal detecting and see what happens. Alright, guess the ghost town's out of the question. The wind picked up pretty good and there's a ton of dust in the air. I don't know. Guess it's just one of the hazards of living out in the desert. So, we'll hit up the tot lot. Good a place as any, right? Alright, couple of quick pointers. When you get out here with your metal detector, you want to keep your sweeps nice and even and slow and slightly overlapping. That way you don't miss a thing. The biggest problem I see with beginners is they do this. They rock it up in the air, way out here and way over there. The only place you're even close to the ground is right here. So that's the only place you're really going to find anything. My Lord, it's windy. Anyway, I'm going to roam around and see if I can find anything, and we'll take it from there. Alrighty. I finally found a decent signal. I guess you can hear it beeping over this wind. Anyways, when you find a signal, a lot of people will turn 90 degrees to find it again. Simply so they can pinpoint where it's at. There might be two of them down there. Anyways, I don't do all that. I go this way, and then this way, and I find my signal. Well, the machine's telling me we got a dime down here at about 4 inches, and I really don't want to break out the pinpointer or anything, so I'm just going to kick a little bit to the side and see what shows up. Did I move it? See, I think I moved it. That makes it a little easier. So we'll just, it's got to be in my hand, right? And, oh, I dropped it. Nope, it's not a dime. It's a penny, but it's a copper one, I guarantee you that. It's not a zinc one. Oh, yeah, 1964. It's copper. But anyways, it is way too windy out here for me. And maybe if you want to see more metal detecting, you just have to hit that subscribe button, you know, or even a little bell. Lord knows you wouldn't want to miss anything, right? We go hands-on. Oh, Lord, I can't breathe in this stuff. I can't speak English, honestly. At least you didn't have to watch me chase my hat for a half